What happens if you have a supervisor as an engineer who's not good at delegating tasks? It's a problem, because if you don't get the information you need, you can't execute on the task, which may reflect poorly on you. So in this case, you need to have a conversation with that supervisor, and that's what I want to cover in this week's engineering management lessons video. Let's jump right in. So at the Engineering Management Institute, we do provide training on how to delegate effectively. We have a framework that we designed. It helps technical professionals to delegate because delegating or giving work to someone else is very difficult for us to do. We like the details. We want to keep doing them. However, failure to delegate means you can't move up in your career. Now, what if you're on the flip side and you're being delegated to and your supervisor is not good at it? In that case, you will need to have that conversation with that person. You will need to let them know that you can't effectively execute on the assignment because you don't have the information. You don't have clear instructions. You don't have clear expectations. Now, if you don't have those things, what I recommend you do is you have a little bit of a checklist that you can develop on your own on all the pieces of information that you like to receive when a task is assigned to you. This way, if you don't get them, it's easy for you to understand or see that and then ask for the information. For example, one of the things that you're going to want to have is clear specifications. So if a project is being designed, you need to use a specific code, a specific material. Is there a specific size or shape that you need to stick to? You want to ask questions like that, of course. Are there any client or customer preferences that your supervisor knows about that need to be relayed to you? Maybe you would logically typically do something one way, but you can't because this client wants it done another way specifically. So you need to ask that question. Is there a specific software that you have to use, right? Some clients want the design file and they need to be able to open it. They need you to use a specific software. That's another good question to ask. Probably the most important question to ask is, when do I need to complete this task by? The worst thing that can happen is you get assigned a task with no deadline. It's bad for multiple reasons. One, it doesn't allow you to really plan accordingly for your work schedule. But secondly, which leads to the final question, how do you know how much time you should spend on it, right? If they don't tell you a deadline and they don't give you a time limit, you could be working on this task for 40 hours and they expected 10 hours and wanted it back tomorrow or in 2 days from now. So if you're the one being delegated to and the tasks being delegated to are not clear, expectations aren't clear, deadlines aren't clear, specifications aren't clear, you need to have the conversation and ask the question. And I recommend developing a checklist that you can share with your supervisor, which will make it easier for him or her to delegate to you and easier for you to flag issues to make sure you have the right information. If you've run into this challenge before and you've dealt with it in different ways, I'd ask for you to please share them in the comments below. We have thousands of engineers that watch our videos and they could benefit from your knowledge. And also, please consider subscribing to our channel here. We put out videos weekly like this one where we focus on helping engineers become better managers and leaders. I'll see you next week.